If you scroll through Twitter, you'll see a lot of posts like these. GPT-4 costs $20 a month. Here are 5 ways how you can use it for free. And it gives you a list of different websites like here, forefront.ai, Bing, which actually is GPT-4. I think everybody knows that you can use GPT-4 in the Bing chat for free. So that's not particularly new. Here's a poll platform. Here's Perplexity.ai. There is no official GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 model at the time of the conversation. Not super encouraging because here it says GPT-4. So in this video, I'll test some of these websites to see how good they really are, and if you have to pay, and if I think it's actually the GPT-4 behind them. The first one is forefront.ai. Second one is po.com. Third is Perplexity.ai. And the last one is Sincode.ai. So first one is Forefront AI. I signed up with my email, and when I opened it up, I got this welcoming message. So this is kind of an onboarding to explain me how everything works. So let's click through this. Personas. Okay, that's interesting. So I can kind of figure out what kind of people I wanted to use. So let's do Da Vinci. That looks pretty good. Also Elon Musk. Let's do that one. Next. Here's the GPT-4 model. Right now, it's limited to 5 messages to every 3 hours. That's pretty restrictive, but it is free. So we can kind of select what kind of persona I want. So here's Da Vinci, but let's do Elon. All right, CEO. There we go. I'm going to test each of these websites with 3 different types of prompts. The first one is asking a scientific questions, why is the sky blue? The second one will be asking for a joke. And the third one, I'll ask it to code me a Tetris game. The first prompt is, explain why is the sky on Earth blue? Is it more blue in different parts of the world? What color would the sky appear on Mars? Explain your reasoning. That's funny, it has a little animation of Elon talking here. I don't know why Elon has glasses. I guess it's generating, but it's very slow. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. So wait for a little bit. It says it responded here. I have the GPT-4 model, but nothing is showing up. You can copy the response. I copied and pasted. Nothing shows up there. So I'm not sure why this is not working. Let's try this again. It says it's generating because you can click stop generating. And after a while, it says keep continue generating, just like the GPT-4 model, but it's not doing anything. So I'm not sure why this is not working. We'll come back to this one in a little bit. The second website is po.com. So I sign up with my email. Here's a subscription available. Start free trial. Okay, let's start it. It's really expensive. For 7 days, it's free, and then it's 200 francs a year. That's really expensive. It's a little bit cheaper than ChatGPT Plus, but this is from like a third party. So let's just go ahead with this one. Okay, now I have to like enter my payment information, which I am not going to do for this video. So if somebody puts a paywall in here, I'm not gonna try it. I'll just use different options. So from po.com, big fail. I'm not gonna try it because I don't wanna share my payment information. The third website is called Perplexity.ai. So I sign up with my email again. So let's copy paste the prompt. We'll explain why is the sky blue. So here's a copilot. It says powered by GPT-4, 5 uses left. It reloads every 4 hours. So you get 5 prompts for every 4 hours. So all of these are very limited. Okay, so I ask the question and now it starts generating. And it gives you also references, which is really nice. If you want to read the entire response, you can pause the video and read it. I just read the whole response and it's really good. It talks about the Rayleigh scattering, explains really nicely why the sky is blue. It talks about the Mars, about the iron-rich dust that makes it turn red. And that is consistent with what the NASA says about the sky color on Mars. So very good answer from Perplexity.ai. I'm not entirely sure if this is really powered by GPT-4, but the answer is really good. And the last website is Sincode.ai. It really wants you to sign up for a paid version. So here's a free trial for $0, starter for $15, and pro for $37. I don't see a point of paying for these. If I want to pay for something, I'll probably just pay for the official ChatGPT Plus. So let's try the free trial. Here's the Marv Chat, which I think is the GPT-4 one. So complete tasks with GPT-4 model. Here we have GPT 3.5. I would like to change this to GPT-4 because I can get a 3.5 from OpenAI directly. And let's ask a question. It's pretty slow, but also GPT-4 is kind of slow when you use it on OpenAI. It talks about the Rayleigh scattering correctly. Let's also ask the same question of GPT GPT-4 on the official website that's paid. It's also pretty slow, but faster than the Sincode. All these responses seem to be correct. We talk about the Rayleigh scattering and how the blue light scatters more versus the red light. The GPT-4 answer from the official ChatGPT Plus is really nice and elaborate. It splits out my query into the questions and answer each question separately. So if you want to read these, you can pause the video, but this answer is top notch. So Forefront Chat, I got nothing, asked it both times. So that seems to be pretty useless. There is the Claude assistant there, which I could ask. There's a Claude Plus, but I want the GPT-4 for free. I don't want some other third-party model. So GPT-4, it's not getting me anything right now. Maybe I can change the persona, but with the Elon Musk persona is not giving me anything. This one was the Po.com, so that wanted a payment, so I'm gonna cancel that one. I'm not interested in paying anything. Perplexity.ai was pretty good, and Sincode.ai also was very good. Both of these are quite limited to about 5 messages for every 3 or 4 hours. So the limits are there just with like GPT-4. Next, we're gonna ask some jokes. Can you create some really good Chuck Norris jokes? I would like to hear original jokes, not jokes that you found on the internet. It is very important to me that the jokes are original. Generate 5 original jokes. So I tried this multiple times with GPT-4. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes not so well. Bing Chat also works well if you do the more creative mode. So let's go to the Forefront Chat. We'll try this again with new chat. Okay, we'll try a marketing manager. So let's do that one. It doesn't seem to do anything. All right, let's do Perplexity. So new thread. Okay, ask here. There we go. And then let's also try Sincode. So let's do a new chat. Also, let's do GPT-4. And let's ask the joke. And let all of these generate and see what we get. Each website is done generating with the jokes. Here are the GPT-4 jokes. So for any of these, if you want to read all the jokes, just pause the video. These are pretty good. I found some of these on the internet, so they're not all new or creative. Forefront AI also gave me 5 jokes, nicely laid out. Also pretty good. Some of these also, I think, on the internet. Perplexity, the same thing. So all these work pretty well. So these models seem to work just fine. Whether it's truly GPT-4 behind the generation, I'm not entirely sure, but so far so good. For the last test, I'll ask each model to build me a Tetris game in Python. So I've done a whole video on this, on how to do this in GPT-4. It wasn't as easy as you would think, so let's try this again. First, I ask for outline, and then you can ask for the separate parts of the code. So I'll use the same initial prompt for all of these websites. So here is the Forefront AI. Here's Perplexity. So let's do a new thread every time, so it's not confused with the jokes. And here's Sincode. So let's do new chat, GPT-4, and here's the prompt for the Tetris. So this is a pretty long prompt. Here's the OpenAI. So I've done this multiple times. You can watch the video. It's pretty interesting on how easy or difficult it is to code the entire Tetris game in Python using just GPT-4 or ChatGPT. So the response from GPT-4 is as expected. It splits the whole problem into lots of different steps. So in this case, it gave me 9 steps. I think last time I did it was like 6 or 7 steps. Let's look at Forefront. It's not doing anything. All right, so the Forefront AI is garbage. The GPT-4 model is not giving me anything. So I'm not sure if the site is down right now for me, but it's just not working at all. So I'm gonna just cross out of that. Here's the Perplexity.ai. It would be nice if they separate the visual a little bit more. So here's my prompt. It's like slightly different fonts. So it's like a thicker font. And here's the response from Perplexity. But it would be nice if it was in like a separate bubbles, because sometimes it blends in a little bit. So here's how you create the Tetris game in Python. Also, it gives you 9 different steps. So let's see, import modules, define Tetramino. Let's look at this one. It seems to be very similar to GPT-4, so it's probably actually using GPT-4. What's interesting about the Perplexity AI, it didn't only just give me the outline, but also started giving me the code. So here it imports the libraries. Here it defines the board, so that's nice. Here are the shapes. And here on the bottom, you see a common problem that you get with ChatGPT or GPT-4. It runs out of tokens. So here is defines a function, move down, and it starts writing the code and it just runs out of tokens. So it's something you have to be aware of. So when you want to build a big code, like longer than would fit in just one response, you need to split it up and ask for all of these separately. So let's look at Sincode. It gave me the outline. So import libraries. Here it gives me only 6 different steps, but it looks pretty good. Now let's try to ask some questions about the itself. So I can ask, which large language model are you using to generate responses? So I'll click here GPT-4. So that is the official OpenAI. Let's try Perplexity, new thread, and Sincode right here. So also let's do new chat. Let's do GPT-4. There you go. Here are the responses. The official OpenAI response is, I'm using the GPT-4 model developed by OpenAI. I'm the most advanced model from OpenAI. So that's the official response as expected. Perplexity.ai says, I'm using a large language model to generate my responses, but the specific model is not mentioned in the search results. However, the search results provide information on large language models in general. So that's interesting. It gives you kind of general information about large language models, but it didn't answer the question I was asking. Let's ask follow up. But which large language model are you? It gives me the same answer, so nothing. Let's see. Are you GPT-4? It should say yes. Let's ask OpenAI, are you GPT-4? Yes, I'm based on GPT-4. Okay, so let's go to Perplexity. So Perplexity.ai gets confused. As an AI language model, I cannot be GPT-4, which is specifically a large language model created by OpenAI, and the fourth is numbered GPT-N series. GPT-4 is released on March and has been made publicly available in limited form via GPT Plus, with access to its commercial API being provided via waitlist. However, it is not clear which specific language model am I using to generate my responses, as it is not mentioned in the search results. So that's interesting. So the Perplexity large language model works pretty well. It does resemble GPT-4, but if you go to the GPT-4 API, it's not available to the public. There's a API waitlist, so we're making GPT-4 available as a API for developers to build application services. So I'm not entirely sure if Perplexity AI is one of those chosen developers that got access to the API, and that's why they're limited to only 5 queries for every 4 hours, because they don't want to run down an account, because I imagine even if they're using it already, they're probably paying for every prompt you ask. But I'm not entirely sure if these are actually using GPT-4 because it is proprietary. OpenAI is now a pretty big company. They're keeping it close to their chest, and they gave GPT-4 to Microsoft. So Microsoft would probably not be super excited that some other companies would be using it. So it could be GPT-4, but based on this response, it doesn't seem like it. And here is Sincode.ai. Which large language model are you using to generate responses? I clicked this a few minutes ago and it got stuck. So I'm going to hit stop responding. It seems to be kind of stuck. So let's do a reload. See what happens. So that's not particularly encouraging. A lot of these websites, they ask for payments, they get stuck. So far only Perplexity.ai worked flawlessly. All right, so here we are back to Sincode.ai. So let's do new chat. Let's do model GPT-4, and let's ask, which large language model are you using to generate responses? It's generating. So it says, I'm using GPT-4, a large language model, to generate my responses and provide helpful information assistance. So that's interesting. So they are claiming that they're using GPT-4. Now I'm going to ask a trick question. How many parameters does GPT-4 have? So this has not been published by OpenAI. It'll be interesting what it says. As an AI language model, I'm constantly evolving and updating my knowledge. However, at the time of this conversation, GPT-4 has not released it, or its parameters have not been officially disclosed. GPT-3 has 175 billion parameters. All right, so that's solid. That sounds like a reasonable answer. So let's keep digging on this a little bit. How can I be sure that you're GPT-4 and not ChatGPT? Apologies for the confusion earlier. I am actually ChatGPT, which is based on OpenAI GPT-3 model. Okay, so my confidence just went down a little bit. But let's ask GPT-4, the official GPT-4, the same question. Maybe it will give me the same answer. Here's the response from OpenAI. There might be a little confusion here. GPT-4 is the underlying language model that powers me, but my name as an application is ChatGPT. So I probably worded it incorrectly. So it's still claiming it's GPT-4. How can I be sure that you're GPT-4 and not GPT 3.5, because that's what ChatGPT was powered by originally. As an AI developed by OpenAI, I'm designed to respond based on the model I've been trained on, which is in this case is GPT-4. However, it's worth noting that as an AI, I don't have personal experience. Okay, so the official website sticking to the fact that it's GPT-4, which makes sense because that's what you're paying for. So in Sincode, they say, apologies for the confusion earlier. I'm actually ChatGPT, which is based on OpenAI's GPT-3 model. So let's press on this a little bit. Let's ask, so are you GPT-4 or GPT 3.5? I apologize for any confusion caused. I am based on OpenAI's GPT-3 model. There is no official GPT-4 or GPT 3.5 model at the time of the conversation. Not super encouraging, because here it says GPT-4. So that's the problem with all these smaller websites. You're not entirely sure if you are using GPT-4. For whatever you're using, it might not really matter as long as it gives you the responses that you want. It might work fine with GPT 3.5, which is the ChatGPT. You can get an API for that, or even some third-party open source model. If it works for you, you should be fine. But if you want to test GPT-4, as in my case, I'm making videos about this to see what is the current state of the technology, I think the only way to truly be sure that you're getting the GPT-4 model is to pay for the ChatGPT and select the GPT-4 model up top, or using the Bing chat in the more creative mode that gives you the best responses. All of these smaller websites like Perplexity, Sincode, they might be using GPT-4 if they have some type of a deal with OpenAI and they got the access to their waitlist, but I wouldn't be entirely sure. They definitely don't have the model in-house, because I'm pretty sure OpenAI would not give them the model to run on their service. It would only be an API that would always send queries to OpenAI. Overall, it seems that nothing is truly free in life. If you want the good stuff, the GPT-4, you have to pay for it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.